All right, should we do it? Is this the okay? We allowed? Okay.
Yes.
Sweet. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 187 of the KBMOD podcast. It is April 26, 2015. It is of course a Sunday. And I talked about this a little bit in the pre-show, but if you're listening to this recorded, I'm not issuing an apology because I know a lot of you feel like you probably deserve an apology for how I've treated you these past couple weeks, maybe months really at this point. I don't know. I've been upset for a while. But we kind of had something amazing happen that once again, because you're listening, you weren't able to partake in because you weren't in the live chat. Once again, not a dig, really trying to bring this back. Okay, you weren't here, but this is what happened. I said we were low on retweets, and we have to get a certain amount of retweets before we start the podcast. And I said, instead of negative reinforcement, I'm going to try positive reinforcement. And I said, if we can get to 100 retweets, I'm going to kind of, like real quickly, and we did, everyone did it in like a minute or two, I'm going to try to be a little bit more positive and try to, like I said, positive reinforcement. And so from now on, you have my word that I won't call you shitlords out for your debauchery anymore. You know what? At this point, I think I've said it till I'm blue in the face. I understand there's some very specific reasons why a lot of you, people that probably at this point in your lives, the fact that you're not homeless is incredible. But you're doing it. You're doing your thing, and that's great. And I don't want to harp on it anymore. And I'm just gonna say I appreciate that you listen. And you know what? Just keep doing it. And you can't see me right now, but I'm smiling. If you can't, can you hear that? I'm smiling and I'm trying to be positive about it. So thank you for listening. If you're an audio listener, and I'm just gonna try to
scarier when I
a little bit more happy about it from now on. Like, we have listeners that can't listen live, and that's totally fine.
I can almost hear your facial expression where you're just trying to keep a smile and you're still talking.
Yeah, no.
Trying really hard.
No, it's fine. I feel fine with it. I feel like this is natural and this is coming from the heart. So, okay. What have we been? We finally have like a kind of a regular cast. I said the date at the beginning.
He said it.
Oh, my God, Dan just doesn't listen to me at all.
Yeah, my bad. I was at ESCA land getting drunk last weekend. So.
Yeah, we should talk about that. How was ESCA land?
I don't remember.
You don't remember at all.
No, so I woke up like with a pretty serious hangover. So I jumped in an Uber, went to Snuffy's. I think that's the name of it, right, Brandon? Snuffy's.
What?
Is that a place where they go to
there's like a bar slash grill called Snuffy's in Dallas, and I went there, and this was at like 11 o'clock in the morning. I ordered 3 things of cheese fries and drank 5 gin and tonics when I was hungover, and that's how I started my day.
We have not talked about a place called Snuffy's, so him asking me like, right, Brandon? Like, yeah, you know this place.
Well, my thing is like, if you're from Dallas, you should know that Snuffy's exists, because that shit was good. That was good, because I felt terrible when I left there drunk, and that was awesome.
Name for a bar.
It's supposed to be like a hair of the dog that bit you, not an entire other dog.
No, I had another dog, and that day I did not finish drinking until roughly 6 a.m.
Jeez.
It was fucking well done. Excellent performance.
Good Lord.
That's pretty good. That's good. All right. So John was at ESCA LAN. Just watching it from a spectator perspective as much as I could. I was this week was pretty busy, obviously. I didn't get to watch everything, but the games were fantastic.
Poor NA, just fucking awful.
Yeah. We won't.
That was real bad.
The redheaded retarded stepchild that is NA that we have locked in our Counter-Strike closets. I think at this point, it's just time to go get the shotgun and put her down, boys. I don't think. I don't think she's winning anything for a while, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it was no one in the no one in the top 3.
Yeah, CLG was the only American team to win a map at the LAN, I think, and they won against another American team. So.
Oh no.
It's rough times. Yeah. Oof. Good. All right. What else besides getting super drunk?
Playing lots of Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Are you?
Enjoying my Counter-Strike. Yeah. Mostly SCA pugs, just because matchmaking's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Also some Dota.
Yeah.
A little bit of GTA 5. Good times. Solid game. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. We spent the last podcast we spent like an hour just gushing about GTA 5 on PC.
It's very good.
We're playing it.
I don't want to play it by myself, though. And I also don't want to not play Counter-Strike, so it's a good game I'm just not going to play, probably.
Another one. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. What else besides well, John that was
John,
the
I've
efficiency.
had a big gaming week, yeah. I've been playing some video
John
games.
just coming back with like some in real life stuff. Like, this is what I want. Like, this is what I love. Like, I feel like often I asked you guys and everyone's just like, nah, man, nothing happened. John came prepared. Brandon, can you follow up with that? I believe. What do you got? What happened this week? Let's start with real life stuff and then maybe gaming, if you have anything that you'd like to share.
I don't really have anything special. It was pretty. I actually played like games this week. I don't normally game much during the week, but I played a bunch of GTA.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, tell me what you did. Game wise.
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot more GTA. I think I'm like 70% through the single player, and I played a lot more of the online. And I didn't realize how much the starting cash you get from the pre-order of GTA matters. Like, that is a ton of cash. I don't remember exactly how much they give you, but after playing,
$1,500,000.
After playing, that is so much money for the online portion. That is so much, and I didn't realize how difficult it is to get money when you're out of it. And I'm not out of it just yet, but I've been really careful about what I buy and stuff, like not buying supercars that I don't need and stuff. But so I spent a bunch of time farming the race wins so that I could fully upgrade my car, because that's pretty much like the only thing I really care about in the online portion is just having all the cool car upgrades. So we farmed wins on that, and now my car has like a turbo and all the upgrades and stuff. So that's a lot of fun. The online stuff is fun. I don't really like. I still don't love the online. Like, I feel like maybe because Just Cause 2 feels like it should be a little closer to Just Cause 2, and it's not. Like, it's almost too structured, and the loading times in online are terrible. I don't know, like doing races is fun, but like I feel like there's a ton of content there. It just feels like it's really hard to get into.
Just golf and play tennis, dude.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I haven't done that stuff yet. I haven't done everything. It just feels like I don't know. It feels like a lot of the stuff that's fun to do in online is instanced, and the instant stuff it takes forever. Like, just getting into it, like getting your team together, all of that feels like it takes a long time. So I don't know. Did you guys feel that way?
When we were playing on Friday, it was the first time I had touched online, and until when we were playing just free roam, I thought it was like I hadn't seen anything of GTA 5 like before the PC version really, so I hadn't even seen how online works at all. So when Maddie was like, let's all go to my apartment, and like we could all go in his apartment, like that to me was just like, whoa, that's crazy. And that was a lot of fun. But then when we were in free roam, like I kind of lost interest like after about an hour, because unlike Just Cause 2 free roam, it's much harder to meet up and do shit together in GTA, because you can't fast travel really. And in Just Cause, you just hit G and pick a location, and then you all spawn there, and then like you just do insane shit there. Like,
I do like the world in GTA though. Like I like the whole traversing to meet up with your buddies is actually pretty neat, because you're going through LA. Like, that's what it's really like. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind the traversing stuff. It's just that I felt like there's not that much to do in the free roam part. Yeah. The stuff, like all of the stuff that you'd want to do is all instanced. You have to like meet up, and then you meet up at the mission spot or whatever, but then you go into a lobby to start the mission. And it's like, I wish there was more stuff in the actual world that you could do and just kind of like stay in free roam, but like it's all seamless. That's the stuff that I don't like, is having to like sit in a lobby and stuff and wait for everyone to wait for them to pick all their options and sit through like cutscenes and all that stuff. Like, I want to like stumble upon something fun to do with friends, and then all of a sudden I look up and it's 3 hours later.
Yeah.
And that's what like hitting jumps and trying to land on airplanes that are flying over you and shit's for.
Yeah, like, but
That's free roam.
I find it's easier to do like the free roam and Just Cause 2. That was just my feeling. But once we started doing structured stuff, actually, is when I felt like the online really came together. Like we played a round of golf for drinks, and it was awesome. It was me and Fetsky and Hex and Mike, and it was so amazing. It was so much fun. The golf is actually super well done. It's like probably the best golf game on PC.
Yeah, the Fucked Up Friday crew has been like playing. They like had an invitational.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. And so then we just started going from race to race to race after that, and it was incredibly fun doing that because there's various types of races and. But once that started happening, I enjoyed it. But the free roam part, I much prefer. At least after my first time in GTA, maybe it'll grow on me, but I much prefer Just Cause 2 if I'm just going to dick around. But I like the races and stuff. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, like I don't think it's bad by any means. I just think there's just a little more potential than what is there. Like the single player in that game is a masterpiece. The online stuff feels really solid, but it's just like I don't know. I think maybe because I liked Just Cause 2 so much, I kind of wish they leaned a little more into that side of it and had more stuff in the free roam world. But that's probably like there are probably technical challenges and stuff that make that hard. Like I'm sure they probably have to instance things just to keep servers running and stuff. But it's fun. I just like maybe I haven't. For me, maybe it's just the load times and stuff. Like I feel like in online, more of the time than not, I'm sitting in like a loading screen or waiting for someone to join their invite. Maybe just because like all of it feels a little slow that it takes me out of the immersion of the GTA world.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's very pretty and it runs well though, so kudos to Rockstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game runs great.
Doesn't it crash like constantly?
Nope.
Mine hasn't crashed. I've never had a crash.
I had one. That's
Depends on who you are.
Telling me it does.
I've crashed some. It seems to come and go. I don't crash in the single player. I crashed in online several times yesterday, but it seemed like a driver crash. So it's hard to know if I'm supposed to blame Nvidia or Rockstar for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is always if it crashes for me, it's a Nvidia driver crash. I'm assuming, but it only happens to the GTA, so I'm assuming. But yeah, who to blame?
I had one crash in online, and that's been it. I haven't had a crash in single player, so.
Yeah. All right. Really cool.
I also played Killing Floor 2 because that came out this past week. Yeah. And I mean, it's basically like it's pretty much the exact same as the beta right now because they still don't have more classes and stuff. But I mean, we've talked about it already. Like it's a great game for $30, and I just can't wait for that game to actually get more feature complete because it only has 4 out of 10 classes. Like it doesn't have all the weapons yet. Yeah, only 3 maps. Like there's still a lot missing from that game. But the amazing thing is that it's already worth $30. I think. Even if they didn't add any more content from today, that's a reasonable $30 game.
Yep.
So I'd look forward to having more content.
The sound is ridiculous now, though. The sound was much improved over beta. At least I felt.
Everything is good. Also, their soundtrack is just killer.
Yes.
Like,
that soundtrack's great.
That game just gets you in the mood to kill zombies. And
gets you in the mood to kill, let me tell you. I mean, what? Yeah.
And it's actually like they've I can't, this is just anecdotal, but playing today, it felt like they ratcheted up the difficulty a bit across all the difficulty levels because playing on hard, which is just the step above normal, playing on hard, we didn't even make it to a boss.
Yeah, we got wrecked.
The boss wave.
We got wrecked on Tuesday.
Like the Skrakes and Flesh Pounds, the 2 most powerful zombies, they are no joke, and you actually have to really plan around them, which is that feels like the biggest departure from the first game to me. Is that in the first game the biggest monsters were powerful, like you definitely had to focus on them, but they weren't game changing. In this game, I feel like the 2 powerful monsters are the only things you have to focus on. Like literally, the whole wave is about killing everything that's not them, and then your whole team has to focus on them, which is kind of cool. But it's like I'm not good at that yet. Like no one's good at that yet. It seems.
Did you run it on like ultra everything?
Yeah, I have everything maxed out,
Dude,
and it's fine.
It looks so good, and it runs so well. It does look incredible. There is quite a leap from running it on like high to the highest.
Yeah,
settings.
props to them for like. I mean, this is just my personal experience, but I haven't crashed. It looks great. Everything works. There's borderless window. Like from a technical perspective, it's fantastic. So kudos to Tripwire.
Yep. All right. Blah. Go.
Well, I've been playing Hearthstone. The new wing came out. Heroic Chromagus is the worst designed encounter ever.
What's the new wing? Is it Blackwing Lair?
Blackwing Lair, yeah. So Chromagus he has this ability where he dumps a card into your hand every turn that has a detrimental effect, and you have to use the card in order to get it out of your hand. And it counts as a spell. It does nothing when you cast it, and it costs 3 mana. And then they have a variety of different effects. It's like the Brood Afflictions, if you're familiar with the fight in WoW.
One of the most well-designed fights.
Time-lapse Chromagus, bro.
Wow. Time-lapse Chromagus. Oh my god.
So the Hearthstone version is actually incredibly unfun. He drops these minions that get buffed whenever you cast a spell, meaning in order to dump these out of your hand, you have to buff his minions.
Oh.
In addition to, it's just insanely unfair and pretty frustrating. But eventually I got him after playing. I think a good indicator of a bad encounter design on Hearthstone in solo is when you use the same deck that eventually works after like 20 tries, because at that point it's just RNG, and that was the best deck I'd tried. It was a druid deck. Druid? It was druid.
That's very
supposedly
true.
that fight was a lot easier with Lorewalker Cho.
I tried Cho, and it depends. It's like if you can get Lorewalker Cho out and protect him, then yeah, he helps. But for the most part, he usually has like, you want to drop Cho like early game and then dump as many of these cards into his hand as you can. But the problem with that is the fact that Lorewalker Cho, he will actually trade with Lorewalker Cho. The AI is smart enough to recognize Lorewalker Cho as a threat and kill it. So if he has anything on the board, Cho's just gone, unless you can protect it, unless you can kill his minions somehow. So I actually ended up taking Cho out of the deck before I finally beat him.
I thought all 4 encounters were pretty good, actually. Like they were pretty.
Was the one.
They were pretty hard.
What do they have? What do they have? There's 4, so
like there's hard, and then there's like, even when I beat him, I was still like, I don't know how the fuck I beat this guy. Like it really felt that weighted compared to the rest of them. And there were some hard encounters in the past, like in Axe Ramus and stuff, and none of them felt this bad. Like it was just really frustrating to play, I think.
What other encounters are in Blackwing?
You have Veil of Straws is the second one. Who's the first one? The egg guy, Razor Gore.
Wait, they have a Razor Gore in Hearthstone? Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
And he spawns eggs, and if you leave the eggs alone for too long, they hatch. Which is actually not how his fight really went at all. But,
no, you just destroyed eggs.
He does still yell at you when you kill eggs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's pretty faithful though to that fight. Like as close as you can make it into a card game.
Not really. What I would have liked to have seen is Razor Gore has himself as a minion, and it gives you some special card that you have to use to mind control and then protect from minions that he spawns to destroy eggs in order to damage him.
That'd be crazy.
That's how it should have been, in my opinion. But I would assume, knowing Blizzard, that they probably tried that and just couldn't get away where it worked and was fun or was challenging. Maybe it was just too easy. So they ended up going with like, okay, well, basically what he does is he has all these 0, it's like 0-1 or 0-2 eggs or something, and every turn he summons another one and then buffs all their health. And if they get to a certain amount of health, they hatch into a powerful minion that's difficult to deal with.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
My favorite fight in Blackwing Lair is Velostras, because it's a mill fight, and he mills himself and you.
Yes, he forces everybody to draw the shit out of cards, and on Heroic, he gets mana acceleration every turn, so he's way ahead of you. He didn't feel too hard to me, though. I beat him in like 2 or 3 tries.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like super hard, but it was only because I knew what I had to do to beat him. The other ones were hard, and I didn't know what to do. And I think those. Yeah. I feel like they're finding ways to make these fights interesting
Yeah.
Like I think these fights have been more interesting than the first expansion.
And who's the fourth one? Is it Nefarian?
Yeah, it's Nefarian.
Yeah.
Cool. And one nice little Easter egg that they have in the game is if you play Deathwing against Nefarian, he'll go, "Daddy?" Like he's like really confused. If you pay attention to lore, that's his father. Anyway, I'm a huge WoW lore nerd, or I was at one point. Anyway, let's see, what else did I play? Bloodborne, I've been working on. I two-shot 2 bosses on stream, one-shot 2 bosses on stream, rather.
Nice.
Which was fun.
Which ones?
Dark Beast and which I felt was very hard, and then the One Reborn, which I thought was really, really easy.
One Reborn is super easy.
It was stupidly easy.
Blood Beast is not easy. I summoned for that.
Are you talking about Bloodstarved Beast or Dark Beast? I said Dark Beast.
Oh, I didn't fight Dark Beast.
Dark Beast he's like electric-y.
Oh, okay, Dark Beast Parl. Okay, yeah. I killed that. Yeah, that guy is really easy.
Oh, is he? Okay, he's not as hard as I thought.
There's I won't say, but there's like a trick to him.
I didn't really see any trick. I ended up using like 18 blood vials against him, but I got him on the first try. It was close. And then I think I one-shot Bloodstarved Beast as well. I 1 or 2-shot him. I think it was a one-shot. Bloodstarved Beast, everybody keeps saying is hard. I didn't find him hard at all, but maybe, I don't know. Sometimes there's like a memory leak in the game where bosses will stop doing certain attacks. So like in that same play session, I was fighting Vicar Amelia and couldn't get past her, and she was only doing like 3 attacks, and if my damage had been higher, I easily would have killed her. But then the next time, eventually I quit. I was like, okay, I got to go to bed. I turned on the game the next day, and she had all these different attacks. Apparently, there's a memory leak in the game where if you've been playing for too long, bosses will stop using attacks.
Yep.
Which is very, very strange to me. But
yeah, the patch.
So maybe that's why Dark Beast or Bloodstarved Beast is easy to me.
And
okay.
Yeah, load times are getting fixed too.
Gotcha. Cool. Very cool. So it was those, and then I actually tried out some indie games today. I've been getting this itch for like a new roguelike to get into, so I went into the roguelike category in Steam, and I ended up downloading this game that is actually not at all a roguelike. So I guess the developers or whoever's in charge of this just either doesn't know what a roguelike is or has decided to just straight up lie to me. It's actually a Zelda 2 inspired sort of platformer adventure slashy game called Find Teddy 2, and you play this little girl who apparently in the first game, which was actually instead of a point-and-click adventure game, nothing in the same genre.
Not even the same genre. Weird.
Yeah, so she finds her Teddy in the first game, and then the second game, her Teddy is like... I guess it's supposed... I don't know why it's called Finding Teddy, because it doesn't even serve a purpose, but it just floats behind you the entire time. It's literally on the screen the entire time. There's no finding of the Teddy. The Teddy's right fucking there. Like, and it's not even like a Navi sort of character where it's like, hey, listen. It's like, no, it doesn't even say anything. It just floats behind you all magical and does nothing. And I really wanted to like it because the game is like graphically pretty and the music was really good. It had a pretty nice pixel-based style, but the controls are super clunky. It's really, really, really easy to get lost, and there's no map system. The game is like sprawling, but there's no map whatsoever. And there was a lot of like sort of shoehorned in game mechanics, like sort of a Zelda style music mechanic that just wasn't good. And I didn't really have a whole lot of fun with it, so I kind of ditched that. Second I picked up was something called Die Hard Dungeon, because it was like $1.50. And this is actually a roguelike. And it's also Zelda inspired, but it's more like a top-down Zelda rather than Zelda 2. And it's like remarkably similar to like Link to the Past and how it controls. And it's not bad. I don't know. I need to play with it a little bit more. It seems really tough. I obviously couldn't get far. That's usually how these games start. I couldn't get far at all.
Right.
And I don't know. The one major complaint about that game is when you destroy environment stuff, like if you were to break a barrel in Isaac or something like that, pieces of it stay around in the arena, like in the room. So it's kind of like, oh, cool, destructible environments. Now there's like shards of this shit everywhere. But that actually hides enemies and makes them harder to see, which is
what's
frustrating.
The name of this game again?
Die Hard Dungeon.
I'm looking it up.
The sequel, Die Harder Dungeon, is actually in the works already. So.
Die Harder Dungeon, yeah.
Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard Dungeon.
That game I would play.
Damn, yeah, that sounds.
If it was starring Bruce Willis, fuck yes. I would definitely play that. That's about all I really played this week. Not a whole lot.
Cool.
Sweet. All right, Daniel.
I played a good chunk of GTA Online, as I said, which is, gave my thoughts on that. Pretty fun overall. And I played a lot of Street Fighter this week, and a good amount of Isaac this week too. We had an open lobby of Street Fighter last night, and it was pretty damn fun playing Dalsim still. So I did have a 5-match win streak at one point, so I was happy about that. I normally never win against it was like Dale Z and WAP and Danny B and these guys who are all actually good. So I won some matches, so that was good. But I may or may not have put 19 hours in 2 days into Scholar of the First Sin, the Dark Souls 2 sort of remaster thing.
Need to play it.
It starts out slow. I had played the first 2 hours right when it came out, and I was like, this is all right. They made, some changes to enemy placement. I don't think it's really worth the money at that point. But now that I've played, I'm almost at the last boss. I'm at the second to last boss. Or second to last area. And man, it is so much better than regular Dark Souls 2. So much better. The difficulty curve makes sense in the game now, and there's less, not to say that there isn't still enemy mobbing, which was a big thing in Dark Souls 2 as compared to the other games, which is a dumb mechanic for a Souls game. They would just overrun you with, send 5 or 6 guys at you at once, or 2 large enemies, so that was really hard to deal with. Most of that is gone in the new one, and I really am just addicted to it at this point. It's just been fun to play through. It's much smoother. Bosses, the only downside, bosses are still complete crap in it, and they're actually, if I had to say anything, they're actually even easier than they were before. But they've completely changed some areas. So it's
And how much did you say this is?
It's right now. I think it's a $40 game or $50.
Oh, okay.
Game. But if the price changes. There's 4 different prices depending on what you own from Dark Souls 2 and the DLC. But it comes with all the DLC, and it's DX11 and looks a lot better. But there's some areas that are just completely redone. It lets you skip a lot of annoying stuff. That's just built in. You'll miss the items there. That content is still there, but there's really obvious and simple ways to skip really annoying parts now. The gutter is much, much easier to get around now, which is one of the worst areas in Dark Souls and any of the Souls games. Much worse than Blighttown, I think, the gutter. Mainly because you can't fucking see anything. It's pitch black in the whole area.
Yeah, the gutter was not fun.
It's not fun at all. And there's a bunch of Dark Souls 2 went on this thing where it was ooh, we're a dark. It kind of ended up parodying Souls games rather than sort of doing anything new or different. It kind of was Souls games are really hard, and that's what you've heard. So here's a bunch of troll stuff in the game. That's what it was, more than just do this and learn not to do it again, which was the fun stuff about Dark Souls. Yeah, I highly, highly recommend it as a sort of first foray into Souls games now. I think it's probably your best bet if you've been looking to get into it, especially because it works really good on PC as well. And the weapon durability bug is being fixed. Right now I'm using a mod to fix it. Modders came out with a patch that fixed it, so I'm using that. Much, much more enjoyable with that. Because having your weapon break 2 minutes into an area, not very fun. So From is releasing a fix for that soon. But yeah, it's incredible, and I'm actually gonna play through all the DLC and stuff in it. So I seriously put like 12 hours into the game just today. So I just like couldn't stop playing it. But
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. What else besides that? Anything?
That's it. It's been like consuming everything.
All consuming.
I did play Mortal Kombat X as well. I almost forgot about that. It's a Mortal Kombat game. The online doesn't really work on PC that well. The crypt is cool as hell, though. I talked about this a little last podcast. So Mortal Kombat games has a thing called the crypt, where you open graves and get like different costumes and finishers and like game art and all kinds of stuff. And you earn coins to open stuff in the crypt by just playing matches or playing through story mode with different characters. And the crypt is like set up now like a Legend of Grimrock. I don't know if you guys have played that game or seen that game. It's like old school first person dungeon crawler, so you can like only move one square at a time. And the crypt is that same way, and you can find like weapons and items in there, and there's a ton of different paths, and sometimes you have to like kill stuff in there that might attack you. And you have to like kind of time a quick time event when that happens. It's actually really cool. So, but yeah, I'd highly recommend it if you're into Mortal Kombat, but I would wait until they patch at this point, because online not really doing the best right now. Also, yeah. I could not believe how poor quality the cutscenes are. Like, I swear to God, they are 480p cutscenes. Like,
oh, like you notice the difference as soon as it like goes out
like
to the
framey, pixelated shit. Like, it is so bad. I just couldn't believe it, because normally cutscenes, especially in 2015, they usually look better.
Or like real life.
Yeah.
They should be real life.
I feel like I didn't notice that on okay. I feel like I didn't notice that on, because I was watching Maximilian play through the he was doing like the story when it first came out.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice that, but maybe I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Was he playing on PC?
He was playing on, I think he was playing PC at the time.
You would know, because as soon as it goes in for like what they call X-ray moves, it's kind of like a super, which does like an insane amount of damage.
The framiness or whatever.
It goes down to 30 FPS. And it goes down to 30 FPS for the cutscenes, and it goes down to 30 FPS for fatalities. And it's super noticeable. So mid-match, mid-60 FPS match, if you do an X-ray, all of a sudden the game goes to 30 FPS. And it is actually quite jarring. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
I would wait till they patch it. But it's... I had fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. I think.
Oh, okay, Max was playing on PS4. Then never mind. Yeah,
I think the combo system is a lot easier to use than Street Fighter, because basically you just rapidly tap the buttons that you need to in the correct order, and it does the combo. Like, you don't have to. You just have to rapidly do it. Whereas Street Fighter is a lot more timing involved in doing the combos, sort of linking the moves together. But yeah, pretty fun. Bad port so far.
Alrighty. All right, and I will go last. I didn't play a ton of stuff this week because I was playing the game. To quote Brandon, I was playing the game of real life, and it was stressful. But got it
first.
I know. I guess I should have, right? But no, I got everything done. As you guys know, I talked about this last week. But I am moving to Pittsburgh, and it's coming up real soon. I actually leave on the 6th of May from here in my car with my father to drive over. But I had about 2 days.
With Brandon or your father?
Well, I don't know. I'm really hoping that if it would be awesome to have 2 dads in the car. So like if Brandon would come with me and be my like surrogate dad and my real dad could be there, I feel like that could be a cool thing too. Brandon, depending on what you're doing, like a 3-day trip or so, should be fun. Yeah. We'll have to see. But anyway, I was in Pittsburgh and I was able to secure a place and everything, which was good. Really happy with the place, and got to see Dan, got to see Mike, got to see a bunch of the KBMOD boys, Hex, and Tim. Got to see the Tim hole. My goodness, he keeps that thing filthy. It was gross, but it was pretty terrible. But Megan made just an amazing meal, as per usual. Nothing shocking there. She had homemade. God, you know what the real winner on that meal was? And I got to tell Megan this. I liked everything. Everything was good. She made orange chicken and sesame chicken, I think, or no. What's the other chicken? General Tso's chicken, which was ridiculous. But she made this. She had this fried rice with pork belly in it. Oh my god, Megan, if you're listening, I need the recipe.
She just made a new batch. Today.
Oh my god, it's so
dinner.
good. It's so fucking good. Anyway, so it was good to see all of them, and anyway, so I'll be starting. I will be in Pittsburgh soon, so got all that stuff nailed down. But then as far as what I played, just been playing a bunch of GTA single player. I'm kind of, for some reason, I have it in my mind. I want to get through the single player stuff before I jump into online, which I know those aren't really necessarily exclusive to each other. But I'm probably I think I have 20 or 25 missions left total for the single player. Having a lot of fun with that. And then I hadn't played CS:GO in 3.5 or 4 weeks. And then just yesterday, I did a bunch of CS:GO. Mark and I were playing, and there was a bunch of VAC ban waves. And it turns out that I hadn't played in forever. I'm Eagle. I'm Legendary Eagle on my account. We lost 2 games in a row, so I was like, "Oh, this isn't a good start." The next game that we win, I didn't even play particularly well. I rank up to Legendary Eagle Master after 2 losses in a row. And the only thing that makes any sense is that
there was cheaters from before.
So many cheaters in the previous games that got banned. Yeah, so many. And actually, it was kind of vindicating. I was like, God, we were pretty sure, and everyone in the chat's always just when you're pretty sure you're playing a wall, they're like, you guys are just fucking terrible. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, there's no, that had to be a lot of overturns, I think. Anyway, so it's been fun to do that. I think I'm going to probably do some more CSGO this week. But yeah, just CS:GO and just tons of GTA, lots of GTA. So
nice. Yeah. All right, that does it for this section. We're gonna take a quick 3-minute commercial break, guys, and we will be back with the news. So a rather big issue this week, but yeah, we'll be back in 3 minutes. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to support us. You will see no commercials if you do. Plus, you get that lovely set of emotes. So we will be back in 3 minutes.
Oh, we have more than one emote on this channel? That's interesting.
Cute.
Oh yeah, massive shout out that we can use, that you can easily access all the emotes now. I've been spamming the KBMOD. I've Brandon's face everywhere now. Just easy access.
It's one of the best features we've rolled out recently.
Yeah, it's good. Can we just for a second on this break, can we just I want to see the entire chat. I don't want to see anything in between Brandon's face. Come on. Put the eyes up.
No
there it is.
Breakers.
I want to see a sky full of eyes. Bruno Mars anyone? Okay. Oh yeah, Katie Zen, I saw the news for that. That really bummed me out too. I don't know if we're going to talk about this at all, but
I actually don't have it on there because it doesn't come to PC anyway. But yeah, that sucks.
It's bummer that it's
amazing.
Pretty much dead. Sounds like
Konami killing off Silent Hills.
Apparently. Yeah, well, I haven't been following why they're beefing. Why are they beefing? Why is he beefing with Konami? Does anybody know? I didn't know the reason that Kojima was.
Yeah,
I don't think they've said anything.
Well,
he didn't.
Konami said they were restructuring.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they laid him off. That's, I think, how it worked.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
His whole, I guess you could even call it a studio within the studio. Got let go.
And they're taking PT off the store. I know. I saw that too.
Yeah.
Oh, the way I laughed frustrates you, Havy? Well, I got something for you, man. Go fuck yourself, dude. Is that better? No. I like saying things seriously, and then people are like, wow, but is he really, he is a dick. I knew it the whole time. He really is a dick. And I'm like, yeah, it's down there. You just gotta bring it out.
Breaking news, Megan figured out her Hearthstone problem.
Oh, did she?
She went, where did you go? Did you go on to Reddit to get this fixed?
Megan's
Wait, what was her problem? Something with the it not running properly?
There was something on mobile, at least in a single player campaign, I guess. It was telling her to play a card, but she didn't have enough mana to play it. It was in just the tutorial, so she couldn't play the card.
Okay.
To get past that step. So
she was on the Reddit and Blizzard forums.
Yeah.
Wow. Next level.
It's not a level I want to see.
Yeah. Next Megan's gonna be trolling 4chan. Like, it's over.
Holy crap, this came out in 2012, blah? Jesus. Never mind. I thought it had just come out. This makes more sense now.
No, I just bought it because it was $1.50.
Well, I looked at it and I was like, last update, November 18th. I was like, man, I thought this was like in early access, but no.
No, it wasn't even like I was like, oh, let's see what's new. It was literally just let's check the tag on the store
Well, they
and
had
see what I
that
can
sale,
find.
yeah. They had that sale on roguelikes, of which there are many good ones. If people are looking for it, FTL's on here. Isaac Rebirth, Spelunky. Spelunky is so damn hard.
Kojima's gonna direct an erotic short stories featuring Raiden. You know what? I would watch that if that's his next project. The buns on Raiden, though. Come on. Fantastic.
The buns.
We're back.
See what he's
Yes, we are back from commercial. Let me get my own time here real quick. 19, all right. So, we'll start in the place where most people probably thought we would start with the news this week. Valve has now allowed paid mods for Skyrim. So, modders can put a price on their mods. And this has caused a lot of controversy, a lot of outrage, a lot of... I don't know. It's just the modding community has had to put out a bunch of statements. The Nexus has put a lot of statements out.
Gabe was on Reddit.
Yeah, Gaben did an AMA on it.
Yeah, that didn't go too well, did it?
Well, so
overall.
So I want to get everybody's thoughts on it after we sort of break it down a little bit more. So basically, you can now modders can choose to sell their their work, which, let's face it, you know, there was a donation thing on Nexus, but this is a little different, as you know, there's essentially a paywall between you and a mod you would want to get now. And the big first controversy that came out was that only 25% goes to the modder. So, but then you have to realize that
it's not their IP. It could be 0.
Yeah, it could be 0. It could be 0. Bethesda gets 40%. Valve gets 35%. I think this is the I've heard like 4 different breakdowns of this, by the way. So this is the one that I had
According to Gabe, the publisher will set the split.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And 25% goes to the modder. My initial thought on this was I'm totally fine with this. And I'm still totally fine with it. The fact that modders have been able to do this free for so long is actually, it's much like the comparison was drawn, and we had several good discussions in this channel's chat, actually, over the last couple days. I did like a 5-hour stream yesterday, and nearly the entire 5 hours was like discussing this. My whole thing is I'm totally fine with this. Modders should get paid for work they do. They should be able to put a price on work they do. The main example for me was things like total conversion mods for Skyrim, which obviously take hundreds of hours for the modder to make. But they should count their blessings that this is even able to happen and that they get 25%. People are like, well, they should get more.
It's not their... That's what I keep coming back to.
They're using someone else's IP. You are lucky that Bethesda allows you to do this and is totally down with it.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, though. Like, there's a counterpoint to that, which is Skyrim has sold a ton of copies because of mods.
Correct.
It's not... I mean, like...
Right.
It still would have sold a ton of copies.
It still would have sold, though.
It definitely would, but it would not still be selling a ton of copies today. The reason they still sell a lot of copies of Skyrim is because of mods. So, like, I can see both sides of it, because, like, Bethesda is taking a cut in some cases for, like, features of their game that aren't good. Like, I saw one comment that resonated a bit was like a UI mod for Skyrim, like why should Bethesda be rewarded for someone taking the time to fix their bad UI? It's like, that's a good point, right? Like mods a lot of times are like fixing things that are either wrong with the game or whatever. Like this creates some perverse incentives to like release things that maybe aren't the best, because even if someone mods it, if they want to charge money for it, you'll still take some off the top.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of a weird dichotomy.
I think for a while, but I think almost to I agree with that, and I think part of it though is that this has been such, for the most part, an unregulated deal, right? For at least with Skyrim, right, and with a lot of mods. And now,
I mean,
for everything, it's the Wild West, and for the most part, there has not been any. And that's great, and I think there's a lot of good things about that, but that's just, it was not going to stay that way forever. And we can debate whether this is a good or bad thing. Like, people in the chat are talking about, well, this makes a gray area for a lot of different things, like legally and all that kind of stuff. But it's just the world, like, it is the world we live in. It is, you do not own, Bethesda did not come to you and say, hey, man, can you get me Donkey Kong and Skyrim? You know what I mean? That didn't happen. Like, this is, it's not to say that there isn't fantastic work that goes on, and there's great mods that change the UI, and there's all kinds of positive things. But at the end of the day, if it was not like commissioned, you know what I mean, specifically by the person that owns the IP, they can do whatever they want.
Now,
and I'm not saying that they should,
yeah.
But it is the way it is.
So my main downside to this, I am 100% for Valve doing this, by the way. I don't have a lot of problems with it. My main problem is that Valve said they want the community to police the mods.
Yeah.
And this is just classic Valve in a bad way, in that we will take the most hands-off approach possible here, and in what might be a detriment, much like early access and Greenlight have somewhat become. And there was outrage over that, and now they've tried to reform those policies. When you're getting, games that are blatant ripoffs or just basically stealing people's money, the same thing is going to happen with a mod.
Sure.
We're going to see an article on PC Gamer somewhere at some point. Mods that sold blah, 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 now abandoned, and like,
for sure.
So you're out of money, and this thing will never be updated with whatever new patch for Skyrim comes out.
I think one of the biggest problems here is that mods are not, like, there is no warranty with a mod, right?
Yeah.
If you're paying for something, there's no guarantee that it works on your computer, right? There is no guarantee that it will continue to work after the game like continues to get updated from the developer. So like I would not personally pay probably anything for any of the mods that I've downloaded just because of that. Just because it's not something that I can guarantee is actually going to still work. And that's ultimately the problem I have with it. Because they're going to give you 24 hours to refund. 24 hours is not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about like the game gets updated the next week, and that mod doesn't work anymore, or the mod developer decides he doesn't want to do the project anymore, and it just stops working and it never gets fixed. Like mods are, in a lot of ways, like really ephemeral, and sometimes they'll still work, years after the game is launched, but sometimes they don't. And like, the popular mods, they're updated all the time, and people care about them a lot. I think there should be a way for them to get paid for that, but this model doesn't seem like it serves that purpose the best.
Right.
My problem is Bethesda will be collecting money from something called HD Horsecock. Like Bethesda can make revenue off of something called HD Horsecock. Like, that is possible for them to do. That kind of bothers me a little bit. I want to make money from that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it is a good discussion. I think in an ideal world, we would love it to be continue to be kind of unpoliced and not ever, because there are so many. I mean, you're right, Brandon, as far as like the longevity that mods give games, and especially good ones. And there's been a lot of people in chat were even talking about how many people end up getting hired, like really good modders will get hired by companies like Bethesda to do stuff, and all that stuff is still, I think it can still happen. But the overwhelming reaction I'm seeing from the internet is everything was unpoliced, and now it is, it's time to pay the piper, and we are the internet, and we like to do whatever the fuck we want. That's
I don't know that that's what I've seen. I'm seeing
really?
that a lot of people, like the modding community, has largely subsisted off of just like goodwill, community,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
generosity, like people kind of doing these things as passion projects. And this changes that whole game because you'll have people that like basically you'll have people that will look to game the system. They'll look to try and make money off of other people's creations. Like the fact that you know the modding world is pretty unregulated. Just putting a system to where now you can pay because it's in Steam Workshop doesn't change the other facts of like how mods are unregulated. So you're going to have people like ripping off mods. Now, if you have like packs of mods where like, you know, someone goes through and they make a 20 mod compilation that's like the best way to experience this certain thing in Skyrim or whatever. If one of those is a paid mod, like he probably can't do that now. Or like, how does all of that work? It's like before this didn't matter because it's like if you had someone passionate and they wanted to like compile all these mods together and like help make people's experiences better, they did it, and they just did it because they were having fun with it. They enjoyed it. Now, when money gets involved, all of that changes, and like just even one person like creating something and charging for it kind of can screw with that whole ecosystem. And I think that's what people have a problem with. Because like this for better or worse, and I think a lot of people think it will be worse, like people's motivations with making mods will change.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's true.
But I don't think it's the end of the world. It's like
I don't either.
With every other thing that people sort of, you know, I think
will adapt.
I think Valve's main problem when they do things like this is they just kind of spring it on.
They just do it. Valve doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
really.
And
that was the most.
Can, but that's a terrible way to roll it out. To just be like, hey, this is.
Can I say Gaben
tomorrow.
doing that AMA was the most fucks I've ever seen Valve give in so many years. Like the fact that he actually went on and was like, we made the internet angry and wanted to do an AMA. For the most part, that is, and that's a legitimate. Once again, that is a legitimate criticism of Valve, and one that I have where they just kind of they do whatever the fuck they want because they can. It's not that they necessarily have negative like bad interest in mind or anything like that, but they can do it because they are essentially the biggest. And if you don't like it, you deal with it. Not that they don't listen to community feedback, but that I found it really interesting that they felt that he should do an AMA because that doesn't how often does that ever happen?
There's some good reasoning in this little PC Gamer blurb about. Selected answers from the AMA. They are going to add a donation button, like a pay what you want on mods. So, also, a lot of mods I think will remain free. I think a lot will, at least for the foreseeable future. But they are going to add a pay what you want, which was the same system that Nexus had. There's donation buttons.
But that's still going to be subject to the split, though.
True, but I'm just saying that was a thing.
That will be what people have a problem with.
That seemed to be something. That seemed to be before he did this. That seemed to be a big thing, at least within this community. That a lot of people were like, "I would rather do that. I would rather do a donate what I want than." So they are doing that.
I do, but the thing is, I think if you add a pay what you want, but you still only give the person 25%, like that, I think that is way low for that kind of scheme.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He said his reasoning was seeing what happens with the Steam Workshop, like TF2 items and CSGO items, and people making extreme amounts of money from those. He said we wanted the option of mod developers getting paid. But yeah, I mean the my biggest concern is honestly the stealing and ripping off and bullshit type mods that will pop up. The War Z of mods, you could say, popping up on there and just like churning out a bunch of bullshit that then people pay money for. But hopefully, yeah, if people people keep bringing up that fucking horse genitals thing that was $99. That was obviously a fucking parody of the whole thing. Like, no one, unless
I buy it.
No one was buying that not knowing what it was, though. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But the fact is, there had to be a split, though. I mean, I'm sure Bethesda had to agree with that, however it was going to go. So, I don't know. We'll have to see it play out.
That feels like the most contentious piece. That like the mods? I think there is a very cogent argument that in a game like Skyrim, especially, the fact that a modding community exists is already its own benefit to your sales. Like for there to be a split where the publisher is taking such a generous portion, when like especially like total conversion mods and HD mods and stuff that people really spend a lot of time in. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a publisher split, but like if it's fixing things or adding on things to the game, like I don't know that I agree that the publisher should be getting such a generous piece of that. Because the fact that that's adding value to your game means you will sell more copies of your game. Like it's already a net positive to allow modding, and Skyrim is the best example of that. So like why? I mean, it's already been hugely financially successful. Bethesda doesn't need more of that money. The mod creators do. Yeah, so how? Like I don't think that enough of that money. I think if they had launched a system where it said like 60-70% goes to the creator, and there's like a 5-10% publisher cut, or something a lot smaller where the lion's share is going to the creator. I think a lot fewer people would have had a problem with it. I think people have a problem with the fact that like basically the publisher is doing nothing and they're just going to get to take money. I think a lot of people principally have a problem with that.
I don't think this is the end of it by far, though. I think it will even out, whether it becomes like a Bandcamp like system, which has been talked about, as far as like how much people are willing to pay for a really good mod, or like the donation stuff. I don't know. I don't think it's going to stay here, especially just because of the outcry anyway. But yeah, it's like we have to wait and see thing. But I agree with you, Brandon, too. If it was more off the bat, people would be a lot less upset, probably.
Yeah, sure. There was one answer from the Gabe's thing on Reddit that I thought was interesting, where someone's calling out Valve for being greedy, and like I don't think they're being greedy with this. Like I think Valve probably believes what they're selling, but Gabe responded basically like, assume for a second. I'll just read it because it's not that long. He says, let's assume for a second that we are stupidly greedy. So far, the paid mods have generated $10,000 total. That's like 1% of the cost of the incremental email the program has generated for Valve employees. Which is true. It's like, I mean, I don't think they're doing this to just be malicious or like, to just steal a bunch of money, or create a bad system. But I do think this seems to be like a Valve problem where they'll launch something that like maybe isn't the most well thought out, and like is going to try to work itself out autonomously and through systems. And that's the biggest problem with something like this, is that all of the problems that you're going to run into can't be solved by like better computer code. It's problems like people stealing and ripping off content and all of that stuff that like without some sort of human review, which is very costly, it makes a new system like this kind of, I don't know, it a lot more difficult to implement the right way.
Yeah. I just foresee, the way I foresee it happening, again, I actually support this move, but the way I see this working out is the way that early access has gone. In that it was really good at first. It was really good at first until the bullshit started cropping up. And then it was really bad. And people were like, then it was just only bad examples on websites that you would see of like, look at this early access game that's clearly here to rip people off. And then eventually Valve was like, all right, we got to clean this shit up. So they made, people put disclaimers all over it and do all that kind of stuff. And eventually they did man up and sort of police it. That's how I see this going. Is like, just eventually they end up having to do that policing that they clearly, like at first they're just like, oh, the community will do it. But, we'll see. So, moving on from that, we'll have to see how that shakes out over the next few months and see if there's any examples. I'm sure they will be in the media if there's examples of, especially negative examples.
Up next, a bunch of shit we don't care about.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Black Ops 3 was announced, which I was like somewhat okay. I haven't even watched the trailer yet. But I did like the first 2 entries in this particular piece of the Call of Duty series. Black Ops was incredible, and Black Ops 2 was actually quite good on PC in particular. And then died shortly after. I just can't recommend anyone buy a Call of Duty on PC anymore. I just can't recommend it because you're not going to have anybody to play with in like a month. You're just not.
Are we saying that if you're going to buy Call of Duty on the KBMOD podcast that you should buy it on console?
Well, you just shouldn't buy Call of Duty. Period. Is what really should happen. Okay. But
I'm recommending everybody buy it on the Xbox One. That's my official stance.
They did get 3 years to make this one though, so that is a thing to take into consideration. We'll see what happens. This is the first 3-year cycle. So.
I think this game's probably going to be pretty good. I just
Look,
don't.
They have a good track record recently, Treyarch in particular. So I mean, there is that. But there's going to be a co-op campaign on it. It looks like it's a lot of Advanced Warfare stuff for the multiplayer, like ball running and all that kind of crap. But as I said, you can kind of have a little faith in Treyarch, especially with the PC version. But again, there's what was it, like a month, like 2 or 3 months after we all, well, I don't know if you guys did, but a lot of people in gaming played a lot of Black Ops 2 on PC, and then within like 3 months it was impossible to find a game unless you wanted to just play deathmatch. Like you couldn't find. I like to play domination, and after 2 or 3 months it would take 5-10 minutes of queuing up to get into a domination game. So it's coming out November 6th, I believe, is the release date. So if you're interested in spending $60 once again on Call of Duty,
I'm not.
There you go. A few more quick things. Dota 2 has announced a series of major championships now.
Thank God.
I don't know if they sort of had like the DreamHack type system like CSGO does, where those aren't official majors, but they are fucking major tournaments. But there's going to be a fall, winter, and spring major, and then of course in the summer the international. So thank God they did that, and there's going to be a huge balance update for Dota 2 upcoming as well. So kudos to them for putting in a system on that. I think 4 majors is actually a good amount, like every 3 months or so. Now do it with CSGO, Valve. Do it with CSGO. Structure something in. Heroes of the Storm, which is on ESPN2 right now, releases June 2nd in full release.
They better make it run better, because it still runs like shit. It's fucking terrible.
Open beta before that. They've been handing out closed beta keys like candy lately. If you have an email tied to Battle.net, you've been getting a billion of them. So June 2nd, Heroes of the Storm will release in full. This next one, Project Cars, will have 28-person multiplayer online. You will also be able to play. You don't have to have 28 people to play, don't worry. But you will be able to race against 27 other real people, which is, that I think is pretty cool. I wasn't actually expecting that. I don't think I've ever seen a racing game.
I was going to say, how many normally racing games are like what, maybe 12, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Like 28. Keep in mind, Project Cars is a very realistic sort of simulation Forza type driving game. But sounds amazing. I'm super pumped for Project Cars. Comes out in the end of May, I believe now. But yeah, it will scale. You can play with just your friends. You can play with 8 players, 12 players, 24 players, whatever. It will scale. 28 is the max though, but that's pretty awesome. You could race 24 hours of Le Mans with 27 other people. That'll be good for community nights. I'll tell you that. Be able to fit a lot of people in a race. And the final note here.
Yeah, this we give a lot of shit about.
Yes.
A lot of shits about.
Yeah.
This is great.
The Comcast TimeWarner merger is dead. It is not
so you can still
happening.
be individually fucked by 2 different entities. It's not one entity anymore. So you can get it in the mouth and in the ass at the same time still. So that's exciting.
both have been actually steadily improving their speeds, not their customer service, but their speeds have been steadily improving due to pressure from things like Google
that depends on where you live.
Yeah,
it
really
definitely depends on where you live. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess that is good, right? That would
no, it's definitely a positive.
It's definitely good.
It would have made across the U.S. basically 2 major carriers, and then a couple little ones like Charter and
Charter.
Bigger than sort of local carriers or startup carriers, but yeah, it would have been, you basically would have had 2 options: Comcast, TWC, or Verizon. That would have been it. That was all you have. You're lucky if you have more than 2 these days anyway, but this is a good thing overall.
I want to live in an area where I can get Comcast and TimeWarner and have the two separate connections.
Fight to the death, yeah.
That's the funny thing is they don't compete anywhere. So
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that couldn't happen.
God.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Couple new releases this week. Both are not good games, and don't buy either of them. April 28th, WWE 2K15.
Oh god, that game
comes
is terrible.
to PC.
Played that multiple versions.
As someone
of that
who
game.
loves WWE, this is very disappointing because that game is fucking terrible. And it's $45 on PC.
Yeah, it's not
you get
good.
all the DLC with it, but it's a fucking terrible. It looks really good and does everything else terrible. Like the graphics are really good, everything else is awful.
WCW NWO World Tour
Dude,
was the best wrestling game.
bring it
and
back.
Nothing will ever come close.
That shit was so good. And then April 30th, RBI Baseball comes back all the way from the 80s.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And this game is not
Sports.
very good. Not very good either. The reviews are pretty terrible for RBI Baseball. But it comes out on Steam on April 30th. Let me check a price for you in case you are really interested in playing a not very good baseball game.
Man, just give me my triple play 99, dude. Just give me.
It isn't even listed, so. RBI Baseball, April 30th. And that is it for the week's news. We're going to take a quick commercial break, a couple minutes, and then we will be right back.
I played so much Triple Play 99. It was like one of the few games I had on my PlayStation 1, and my god. The announcers in that game were fantastic. The fake ads were great. Anyone remember Lobster Cola? Lobster Cola was one of their fake beverages, which was really good. Some of the cheat codes you could do in that game. I did all the cheats in that game. Could get a miniature guy who had a huge bat that took up the entire screen, and when you would bunt, it would hit, like, no matter what, when you touched the ball, it would like shoot like home runs that were over like 2,000 feet out of the park. God.
RBI Baseball is $20.
Oh, okay.
$20. It does not have good reviews overall. It was out on consoles before.
What is the baseball game now for Is it ML? Is it on PlayStation?
MLB
The Show?
Show.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
I haven't played a baseball game in so long.
That's the big one.
They don't make any for PC, do they?
No,
like baseball
not
games?
the big ones. Like all the big, actually good sports games, except for NBA 2K, don't come out on PC.
Yeah, I thought so.
NBA 2K is good though. But yeah, MLB The Show is, I think, Sony only.
Yeah, it's PS4 only.
But that's supposed to be the best one. And then of course NHL and NFL.
And then there was and then Madden bought the NFL license, so there's no competing football games anymore.
And the 2K football was really good.
2K was fantastic. I always preferred that over Madden for years. I would always play 2K.
It was the other way for hockey. I hated the 2K hockey games.
Agreed. NHL was always better than the 2K hockey. Yeah.
But there were like 4 baseball games as long ago as 4 years ago. It was like MLB 99 and like stuff like that. There was the MLB series. I forget. I don't know who made it. EA doesn't make the show. I don't know what EA's baseball game is. But yeah. FIFA. Oh, FIFA is on PC. I've heard it's pretty good.
And I remember playing Madden on the fucking console, and the one of their big selling points was that all the players didn't look the same. I remember one year, maybe it was Madden 99. On the back it was like the linemen are actually heavier and have more mass. And I was like, damn, this is sick. Like, and then if you go back and play like older Maddens and older sports games, it's true. Every single player is like the exact same body type. But it's funny how far we've come now. Oh, and that like the animations were like when guys fell down, they didn't clip through each other. They actually rolled over top of each other like that. There was actual physics. Like that was a huge selling point. God.
All right. First email. You can write to us, community@kbmod.com. We usually call out the day of or right before the cast for email questions. This first one comes from Bukaki Typhoon via email.
Jesus.
He writes to us, "Hello, you taint fairies. I've been listening to the cast on my Zune every day on my way to work." Yo, shout outs to the Zune.
My brother had a Zune for years. God.
I had the Zune HD. It was the final Zune that they made.
Yeah.
I've been listening to cast on my Zune every day on my way to work as I wipe the crustaceans from my mouth. Fuck you, APL. One day, one of these crustaceans fell into a deep fryer, making a delicious crab cake, rekindling my interest in dank seafood. Your seafood should not be dank, like the actual definition of dank. That's gross. My question for the cast is, what is your favorite seafood?
God,
Shrimp.
I don't eat
Shrimp? Oh, shrimp.
I like shrimp. I don't eat seafood all that often, man, but I do. Shrimp's up there. I'm a crab fan. I don't eat lobster all that often, obviously, but I don't know who does unless you're super rich and you're like, yeah, man, had a couple lobsters.
I like pretty much all of it. A better question is, what seafood don't I like?
Yeah.
Which would be like maybe oysters. I don't really love.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge
oysters
oyster guy. Yeah. Maybe.
But that's mainly because of the health concerns there. I've had them and they're okay, but I just don't.
I don't fucking understand oysters. It's like, okay, let's suck on what tastes like what a New Jersey dock smells like, and then there's like a 30% chance we'll be shitting liquid for the next week.
No, and the other thing is that like with oysters, like you're supposed to, they put like the hot sauce or you squeeze lemon on them. It's like, if that wasn't there, they just taste like you're sucking on a slug to me a little bit. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. I haven't had oysters that often.
Oysters are horrible.
I don't get it. I don't really get it.
I really like scallops and or mussels.
Ooh, see, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a huge scallop or mussels fan either.
You're crazy. They're both delicious.
Unless they're in like
John,
clam.
John, you're muted.
Clam chowder or something. I'm okay.
Clam chowder is.
John's still muted.
John's still muted. God bless him.
He's so mad at that mic.
Yeah, he's trying. Yeah.
Like I like so many different kinds of seafood, but I gotta say, like a crab cake at a high-end restaurant, like a really good crab cake, man, those are hard to beat with like probably like a nice remoulade sauce.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I'm all about that.
Anything I can't do. I've said this before probably many times. It's all blue in the face, but anything I can't do seaweed. I just can't. So I mean, I would consider that seafood, but that's in a lot.
I was gonna say that's not.
No, I know that they're talking about, but if it's like.
I said bacon wrapped scallops though. Bacon wrapped scallops.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also love bacon wrapped shrimp.
Yeah.
Oh, anything.
Sometimes they're called angels on horseback.
Yeah, but only half of those equations are actually seafood.
True.
Pigs don't grow in the sea.
Well, that's true, but I mean, I think it still counts in terms of the type of seafood you enjoy.
I will say that I love shrimp, but it's not my favorite. But I love shrimp, and there's nothing like if I start eating shrimp, I will then just eat all the shrimp available.
Yeah.
So like if you have a shrimp tray at like your wedding or something, like just I'm done.
Yeah, that's like if I ever buy like every now and then I'm like, yeah, I could really go for some shrimp. So I buy like one of those shrimp trays at the supermarket. That's always a terrible idea because one, it's not very good shrimp, and two, I just eat like the entire thing.
And then you're sick. Yeah. You're inevitably sick because you.
And then I feel like just.
See, I appreciate the versatility of shrimp.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with shrimp. I mean, batter it, fry it. You can do the shrimp cocktail with marinara sauce kind of thing. There's a lot of good stuff with shrimp.
I also
Put it
just
in pasta.
love. I just love tartar sauce. Yeah. Like tartar sauce, I think is one of the best types of sauces.
I'm guessing we're not counting fish in this discussion, right?
Of course.
I mean,
You
it's
can.
seafood.
Fish is seafood.
Yeah, fish counts.
can.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about
Seafood
crustaceans.
sucks, or
What else does fish
Not
count
seafood,
as
but
if it's not
fish.
seafood?
I know. It's just
fish
sometimes.
sucks compared to crustaceans and shrimp.
Yeah.
For the
I
most
just
part,
kind of,
yeah.
I kind of in my head separate the two.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite type of fish then? If we're just talking fish.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Honestly, like I'm not a big fish guy. Like I like pretty much just shrimp and mussels. Mussels are like spicy mussels.
To be
We can
fair,
see you like
I wasn't a
mussels.
fish. Like, I'm not a huge fish guy, but until I actually had like really freshly caught or like prepared fish that's cooked. You know what I mean? Like caught and then cooked like right away. Like, I don't know, that stuff. I really like. I'm a big like. I've had salmon prepared that way and a couple other fish, and I was like, okay, I get the fish thing when it's like super fresh. Like I like it a lot.
Good,
but
good salmon.
not when it's been sitting around.
Good
Obviously.
Swordfish is actually super.
Swordfish is
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever we go to PAX Prime, I always have to have at least if it's not the crab pot, it's got to be somewhere to like get some seafood in Seattle. It's so damn good up there. And I live in Pittsburgh where there's not good seafood. Really.
I feel like catfish. I mean, I really like catfish. That's one thing that you can. I feel like you can get in a lot of places, whereas a lot of fish, you really only want to get it like if you're visiting somewhere on the coast when you know it's going to be really fresh.
Right.
Yeah.
But catfish, like you can get catfish a lot of places.
Jesus, there's some gross.
There's this place I used to go that
being thrown around in chat.
McFish.
Well, we did talk about Long John Silver's recently.
Yes,
so-
can I speak of that? So we did talk about Long John Silver's. When I was in Pittsburgh looking for a place, I drove by and actually.
Did you eat at a Long John Silver's?
No, but I saw.
Dude,
I hadn't seen a Long John Silver's in years.
Here.
I hadn't seen it. I saw Long John Silver's and an A&W. They were combined, owned by the same company.
Yes, dude.
And it almost took everything in me to not stop the vehicle and just go in to see what kind of people were eating in there. Because, I mean, to be honest, I haven't had Long John Silver's in years, but I don't have fond memories of it. But to be fair, I was a kid when I would have been forced to go to Long John Silver's, so I didn't like seafood.
That's
really
like
at
the only one in the area too. Like it's the only one left.
Oh, really?
Is that it's out by
that's funny.
Robinson. It's like the only one left out there.
There's
Every
one in
time we
Monroe,
go
though.
past
It was near the hotel I was staying at. Yeah, not too far. I was just like, yeah. I mean, Long John Silver's can't be, and I don't know who owns is A&W because I was talking to Alex who was here at one point, and he was saying that for like in Canada, A&W is like big actually out there. So maybe that's the one that's.
We had a lot, when I lived in Indiana for a little bit, we had a lot of A&Ws around.
Yeah, I never.
Like none over on the East Coast. I'm trying to see who owns. Oh, it looks like Yum Brands.
Oh, they're
owns-
huge. Yeah, that's
Yum
like they
Brands.
own Taco Bell and stuff too. I think.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, really?
they're-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I don't
so.
know that.
They own, here's what they own. They own Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut, and Wing Street.
Oh, holy shit.
Worldwide for those. And they sold off Long John Silver's and A&W, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know.
I was gonna question it, but no, they're
They've got some business people there.
They made $13 billion in 2013, so they know.
I know we talked about this last time, but I just can't get past the fact that, like, when we talk about, I just got done talking about how I really like fresh seafood, and the fact that Long John Silver's is a fast food, like, there's just it just doesn't work. I mean, it can't be fresh.
Well, Blah mentioned
It's
the
impossible.
McFish, which is like definitely not fish, or really undesirable parts of fish made into the shape of.
Can I say something though? I feel like the fish sandwich could be a great like menu option, but it's so bad at most places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love.
You know what
all
happens
of the
though? You know what
ingredients
happens
of
at
fish
higher end
sandwich.
places? You don't do a fish sandwich. You do like really good like fish tacos and stuff like that.
I know,
That's like the
I know,
high end.
but that's the thing is like the
could be
fish
good.
sandwich has so much potential.
No, you're right.
But it is just thrown through the dirt with stuff like the McFish.
Yeah.
Its reputation is
It has
soiled.
Yeah.
All right.
Point.
Next question. Since we can go on with food forever. James is Ninja via email writes in, Dear KBMOD panel of fuckboys. Actually, just APL. Wow. Just hating on APL. Next weekend, some pals and I are headed to a city a few hours from where I live to meet up with a friend we've made on the internet. My question to you is, Have you ever met in real life anyone you first met on the internet?
Only every single person on this call right now.
Yeah, the only reason I added this question is because literally everyone in this call.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like, it's so insanely common these days to make actual real life meetup with friends on the internet.
And if our experiences are similar to everyone else's, there will be intercourse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that was
the first time that ever happened that I met someone from the internet. It was my buddy Nate. Well, John actually technically first, but I don't even count John because he was living so close at the time anyway. My buddy Nate, who we played World of Warcraft with, and he flew into Pittsburgh, and he was like, he said he was thinking in his head as he got off the plane, what if these dudes are just gonna kill me? This was like 2005 or 2006. Yeah. Like, it was not nearly as common then. And I was like, yeah, it could have been possible. You wouldn't know, really. I mean, so yeah, things have changed. Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a time where my parents were very suspect of the people that I was talking to online. And it was very difficult to get them to understand or accept that I was going to meet some of them in real life. They were not comfortable with that.
Even Megan, when Nate was coming in, was like weirded out a little bit. She was like, "So you met this dude on the internet?" I was like, "Yes, we play video games." So it only took Brandon and I like 8 years or something to meet up finally. So, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many people. Like, almost every single friend I have in real life, I met on the internet first, which is probably scary.
With Nick Fenton for...
I mean, yeah, like my whole life. It's like if I really examine it.
In some cases, it turns out your parents were right.
Exactly.
You should have been a little more concerned.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Marco in here is another good example, who's a good friend of mine who's from Atlanta and a lot younger than me. So I'm sure his parents thought I was just summoning him to come to my, LA pad and make him my fuckboy or something. But, he had to tell he came to LA to go to some shows with me and Nick. And, I'm sure his parents were like, so you're going to somebody's house you met on the internet to go to a rave. That's real safe. Yeah. I can't believe your parents let you go, but I guess he's old enough that he can do whatever he wants.
Like,
but
even there's still a stigma because, like, even a couple of years ago when I came out for Christmas and visited you guys, and Nick drove me to my parents' house and dropped me off, they were like a little bit like confused by the situation.
But yeah, absolutely.
They're like, so how do you know these guys? It's like, but
exactly, yeah. No, so many. I mean, the first time I ever went to Pittsburgh, met up, with Dunkus. I still remember I drove to John's house to do the LAN. Dan, you were there.
Yeah.
That was I just drove.
Vincent's fucking pizza.
God, Vincent's so fucking good.
R.I.P. and then back again.
Yep. Are they back now?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, okay.
It's really weird when you meet people online for the first time because, like, I mean, when John and I met in Dallas for the first time, I think we had known each other for
10 years.
Like 10 years, and it's just it's such a weird thing. It's like, all right, well, we're just
weird.
Yeah, we're just like, we're already friends. So yeah, it's
exactly.
nice to see you. I've seen you before, just digitally.
It was like the least awkward experience of my life, I think.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that, like, your car was vibrating my clitoris when I was riding in it. But other than that,
yeah.
You start to realize that your friends online are a little bit uglier in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think real life adds 10 pounds, or maybe 30 pounds, actually. At least for me, that's my
You don't see certain imperfections on the camera, and then you actually meet someone in real life, and you're like, ew.
Now I'm worried about seeing you again this year. You've got so sexy.
Blott's just going to be judging everybody.
Present company excluded.
All right. Next question from the Crackerjack on Twitter. What is the most frustrating game you've ever played?
World of Warcraft with shitties?
Yes. That's pretty frustrating.
That's a good answer,
That
actually.
is a really good answer. I'd have to... Man.
It's hard because it's a toss-up between online games that you play and you have to try and get other people to play them on your level, and single player games that are just like mechanically frustrating.
I think
Hearthstone.
Yeah, God, that's right up there for me. Hearthstone, man. There were times in Hearthstone where I've just like done the Alt F4, walk away from the desk. I don't want to do this.
I've thrown chairs because of Hearthstone.
Trying to think the maddest I've ever gotten at a game.
WildStar for being shitty.
That got me mad. That was more just sadness. That was like just
sad.
I was
gradual
hurt.
acceptance.
I was actually hurt by that.
Mm.
My wallet was quite hurt. I'd love to have that $80 back. But I gotta go with Street Fighter. Actually, as my number one. Even more
fighting games.
Yeah.
Online are. Ugh.
I've definitely slammed my fight stick on my desk before and just. There's just time.
I would just say Counter-Strike because.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons, trying to get your fucking idiot high school teammates to work together, dealing with like their problems, losing matches. Like the most angry I've ever gotten, and the most the reason I'm probably going to die of a heart attack at the age of like 36 is probably because of just playing a lot of Counter-Strike.
You think you're going to make the 36?
Well, I'm optimistic at this. Wow, Brandon. Jesus. You know what, dude? Okay, you know what? You're not my dad. My dad would never say that to me. My dad thinks I'm going to at least.
You're not his daddy.
36.
The WoW example, I don't think John or Brandon have ever heard me more mad than I probably got in raids during WoW, but that's like that was like actual anger. Whereas Street Fighter, I'll just be like, I can't fuck, because half the time it's my fault, and I just get so frustrated. Whereas in WoW, it's just yelling at everyone else, who is terrible. So it's more frustrating to me. Like, Hearthstone's the same way. Like, fuck up a play, and then it's just like, I'm fucking done with this shit.
You know what? This is more recent. This isn't the maddest I've ever. This can go in the disappointment category. Lucius 2 was one of the most fucking just. It's been the most mad I've been in a long time. Mainly because the first game wasn't great, but there was like they actually tried, and there was some cool stuff. And then Lucius 2 is literally like a sandbox for like a fucking game that should have never been greenlit. Like it's just so fucking broken and terrible. And it's like, well, I don't know, $15 or $20, or maybe even more than that. That made me really upset. But that's not the most frustrating ever. But I just gave up.
Were you upset just because of the potential you saw?
Yeah,
in
because
the Lucius
first game.
Series?
Yeah, but then it was like, and then there was nothing about the first game at all, even remotely in the second game. It was just, even from I ran it about at the time, but it's like, even from the moment you started up, you're just like, what the fuck are they doing? So, yeah, that's more recent, but.
All right, next question. Ramna asks, what is your favorite kind of chips, potato or otherwise?
Oh, wow.
What does that mean?
$5,000 chips on the blackjack table.
Those are good.
That is my favorite chip.
That's a good answer.
The kind of chips you don't want to eat.
Microchips that are the plot point in action movies.
Ooh, those are
Solid
good
answer.
chips. I watched Terminator 2 last night, and there's a microchip. Really, if we analyze the film, that's at the center of it. There you go.
Or also Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a good decade. God.
Hillary likes ketchup chips a lot.
That is
Those are
fucked
pretty good.
up,
And
and
I
you should
they're
leave
good.
her.
That is super, like, ghetto of her? I feel-
They're actually really tasty.
Are they?
Really?
Yeah, I could take or leave
sound
them, but
gross.
it's so weird because they don't have them here anywhere. Like they have them in Canada, they have them in England, but you can't really get them here. But like sometimes people will talk about them as if they're something special, but it's like they're just another flavor of chip. It's like, yeah, they're all right, I guess.
Ketchup.
I gotta go cheddar and sour cream Ruffles. Those
are good.
those are
It's hard
just
for me to
amazing.
pick a favorite
Cool
chip.
Ranch
Also,
Doritos.
those are great. Great.
I'll eat a whole bag right now.
It really, I can't pick a favorite, to be honest. There's too many.
Oh,
good
there's so
ones.
many good ones. Recently, for me, it's been jalapeno cheddar pop chips, which are like
Oh,
Oh,
Those are
so
good.
good. Pop chips.
Yo, that
Pop
sounds
chips are the
good as
best.
fuck. Jalapeno chips.
Or are they popcorners? I can't remember which those are.
You're talking about the popcorn chips that we have at the office. Yeah, those are.
Yeah, we
fun.
haven't worked. I eat like a bag of those a day. They're so good.
They're good for you. They're delicious, gluten-free, preservative-free, non-GMO, organic.
I don't give a fuck. They taste good.
All right. Last question before we get to some iTunes reviews. At Italicize asks, as finals week approaches, for a lot of people out there, please tell some tales of shit you've done to pass classes. Cheating, giving profs blowies, etc. Those are some examples.
I pass classes by passing them because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Dang.
Jeez.
Lay down the law.
I also passed organic chemistry with like a 48%, and that was curved to like a B. So there you go.
I only had 2 classes where 3 classes now I think about in college where I actually was like what the fuck is going on with this final? But then it was so dumb that it ended up being nothing. I took a class on Vincent van Gogh and we just like shit all over the paper. And that was basically the final. Like it was, you did nothing but read.
Like you actually defecated
I
on
could
paper?
have. I could have and still passed. Like literally. It was so bad. But then I had an East West sci-fi class that I did fail because I just didn't show up enough. So they failed.
Were you drinking?
No, I just
Were you
didn't
playing
go.
World of Warcraft?
No, I just didn't go.
Yeah.
So that final was hard because
most of my problems in college times were just would be attendance to a certain class, and then I'd have to make up some bullshit excuse as to why I couldn't. I think probably the worst thing I ever did is probably like fakes one of my family members' deaths or something to not fail a class.
Yeah, I never failed the final.
I mean, that's pretty bad, though.
That's pretty bad.
That's about the worst thing you can do as a human being, actually.
No, but it was like, it wasn't a family member it was probably like a third cousin. I did something, I don't think it was definitely somebody where it was like...
It was a human being that was alive, is essentially
The
what
offense is less serious because of their relation to you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really know.
You're still
them.
placing a human being's life on your final exam.
Yeah. She gave me. She gave me like another like. I think what ended up happening was she let me basically take the final. I was like, okay, because she probably knew it was total bullshit anyway. I'm sure. How many times have they heard that excuse? Like that my grandmother died, I couldn't attend the final. Like, anyway.
I never failed a class except for once until I got to college when I started to quickly realize that I wasn't meant to be in college because I had no idea what I wanted to do and I had no motivation. But there was only once I actually failed a class in high school or before, and that was, I think, Algebra 2. It was one of my algebra classes. My teacher was really that bad. It's like, it's one thing to be like, oh, you're just blaming your teacher because you were a lazy student. Oh, I was a lazy student, trust me. But that's not why I failed this fucking class. This lady attended probably like 40% of the classes throughout the year.
Oof.
Jesus.
And about 50% of our class failed. I think a little bit more, actually. It might have been 60 or 70.
Jesus.
She would just have strokes all the time. She was old as fuck.
Jesus
She would like have
Constant
minor strokes and
stroking.
just be gone, which is kind of like, okay, you can't blame the lady. She's old, whatever. She's got tenure. But then she would, after recovering from a stroke and after being out for like 3 weeks, she would come back for one day and then be like, great to see you guys again. I'm going on vacation to Australia. You'd be gone for another month. And then she would come back and tell us, rather than teach us, regale us with stories of Australia and how she ate kangaroo. And fucking, despite all that, she still found time to give us tests, which she hadn't prepared us for at all.
God.
And I completely failed the final. I was so fed up with this woman by the end of the year. I didn't even write anything on my final, if I recall correctly. I wrote my name, and then I think I just filled, I don't remember if it was like Scantron or whatever, just fucking AAA, whatever. I totally phoned it in, knew I was failing, because I was like, I have no idea. I didn't learn anything this entire fucking year.
Yeah.
And the proof was in the pudding when I was made to go to a tutor over the summer to retake that class, basically. And I came back and got like an 85 on the final, which was, I retook the final. That was the only thing I had to do in order to get a score. It was like an 85 or no, it was an 87 because I remember it was a B plus, whatever. It was like high 80s, whatever.
Yeah.
And I still remember who would end up being my math teacher next year. And one of my favorite math teachers took me aside and she was just like, I have never had a student straight up fail a class with like a 40% and then come back and take the final and get a B plus. She was like, what happened? I was like, do you know who Fogarty is? She was like, yeah. I was like, that's why. She's like, oh, okay. Like, she just totally got it. She was just like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
like, tenure is fucking garbage.
Yeah, we had
basically.
There was a guy at Pitt who was famous. He was an astronomy teacher, and he had worked helped invent like parts of the Hubble telescope, and so he was only at Pitt for research grants. Like, he wasn't there to teach, but he had to teach. So he taught this intro to astronomy class, and I use the word, teach very loosely in this situation. For the final, he just gave us the final to take home, and then we could come back and do the final for the final. So, like, the last assignment of the year was, here's the final that I'm going to give you. I'm essentially telling you to cheat, because
everything that's going to be
here it is
on it.
Like, because he just did not care. He didn't show up a lot. He would just give you answers. There was always 1 or 2 questions on each test that were just joke questions. Like, he was completely phoning it in because he had to. He had to do it to keep his research grants.
Yeah.
So, it was like famous. People were like, "Yo, if you got a science elective, gotta take this because you're gonna get a good grade." Like, all right, that is it. The questions. None of us are cheaters, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know.
I did cheat through CCD.
What is that?
What is that?
The fuck
Religious class.
Oh, yeah, you're a Catholic, huh?
My parents, until I was like in 6th grade, my parents made me go to CCD. And there was some huge, like, ridiculous memorization test that I had never seen the likes of in CCD. You went weekly, and there was it was in order to get my, like, confirmation.
Yep.
And I had to remember, like, all this shit from all these saints, and I don't remember if it was like what saint did what, or if it was like quotes from saints or some kind of like huge database memorization shit that shouldn't even have been possible. But the people who teach CCD are not actually teachers or qualified to be handling children in any fucking way, so they didn't know that this was impossible for kids to learn. So I fucking sat there with my packet underneath my desk and flipped the pages with my feet and fucking read from the bottom, blatantly cheating, and the lady still didn't catch me because she was that dumb. Fuck CCD.
How do you think Jesus feels about that?
Yeah,
fuck him.
Yeah. Wow. That is not the
Fight me
official
about it.
stance of the podcast. Jesus, listen, if you're up there.
I thought you were talking about the guy outside that keeps trying to clean my windshield.
Oh, that's Jesus, though.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That's a different guy.
All right.
You're talking about, like, Jesus.
Can I talk about, speaking of, this
Son of
is
God,
totally
he's all right.
unrelated, but you just reminded me of people that, like,
quickly,
real quick. When I was coming back from Pittsburgh and I was about to take a lift, there was a homeless woman standing outside of a gas station while I was waiting for my lift. By the way, you can't get a lift to the airport. You can get an Uber to the airport. You can't get a lift. So I had to literally get on a free bus and then walk like a mile to get in lift range anyway. But it's still worth it because I'm not paying taxi fees. Anyway, this woman was outside as I was walking into this AM/PM gas station, and she goes, "Do you have any money?" I was like, "No. If I have any money out when I come out, I'll give you $1." Should have known that she looked a little crazy. Come back, have a little bit of change, hand the woman $1. She slowly takes it from me, and she's like looking down at the ground, and then looks up at me, and it's like I just fucking like pointed a gun at her. And she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, $1? And she's like, "Man," she's like, "I'm trying to get a value meal from Mickey D's." And like he starts yelling at me, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I think she was like bipolar or something. And there was a McDonald's right across the street. But it scared me so badly that I briskly walked like 5 blocks down the way, looking over my shoulder. And that is the first time I've ever had anybody like threaten me after handing them money. Like I've never had that happen. And that is also why you do not give homeless people in Los Angeles money, because that might happen for you, or anywhere really.
You just don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't. Anyway, that it really messed me up. Luckily, my lift came not that far after. But the other thing is, when I do give money to homeless people, I tend to try to gauge them, and I didn't get a good look at her. And if I'd looked at her before, I knew something like that would happen. But it was actually terrifying.
All right.
I like how you have a screening process.
I do,
Sure.
but I do. Like when I'm feeling good about shit, I will give homeless people money. I will. I don't mind.
How generous of you.
Brandon, where can people review the podcast? Tell me.
Yeah, so as Scott mentioned at the start, we care about the audio listeners a lot, or at least I do. I care about the people that listen to this podcast, because maybe you're in a different time zone, like you can't catch the podcast live on Sunday nights. That's all right. So the great thing about that is that we're on iTunes. We're on, I don't know, we might be on other services too, but
whatever
iTunes
podcast app you have, you can.
I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if Podbean was somehow stealing our files and putting them up on their website.
I use Beyond Pod on Android, so there you go.
Yeah, so we've got iTunes has a review feature, and that's a useful thing because I assume that determines some sort of rankings, or it at least makes us feel good. So the way that works is we feature an iTunes review or two every week on the cast, assuming we have reviews to feature. So if you leave us a nice little review, the content doesn't matter. You can give us feedback. You can tell us how much you like us, hate us. Really, that's your space. Like the content there, your space. Generally, we get a lot of reviews from people in the Hodes family. They're avid reviewers, avid listeners to the podcast. I recognize not all of you are members of the Hodes family, but that's fine. Just put your name, right? That's what that's for. The only catch is it has to be 5 stars, right? There's no point in reviewing if it's not 5 stars. If you hate us, put 5 stars, and then also tell us how much you hate us in the content. That is honestly fine.
This is no way, and people will be like, "Oh man, you're cooking the ratings." Absolutely not. We know that we have a 5-star podcast, and we just ask that you.
Yeah, it's not like here's the thing: the star ratings are not your opinion. You put your opinion in the content.
In the comments.
You put 5 stars because clearly this is a 5-star podcast.
Yeah, that is not.
We do it every single week. We wouldn't still be doing it if it wasn't a 5-star podcast.
187 episodes. You don't do that if it's not 5 stars.
True.
Yeah.
100%.
Once we hit 200, we're going to get a 6-star. That's weird how true. iTunes works in a weird way, but it knows how many casts you've done and stuff.
It does.
So anyway, please do leave us a review on our iTunes feed. It's not hard to find. You just search KBMOD. And so we've got two nice little reviews for you this week.
Yes. The first one, the title of this review was Life-Changing. Wow. I like when we have an impact. It's good to hear from people when we do.
Impressive.
By a Mr. Dwayne Ingleberry. So not a member of the Hodes family this week, oddly enough.
Yeah, interesting.
No, but he's not far off, though.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you'll see.
I was introduced to this cast by some close family friends, the Hodeses. Wrote it as the Hodeses. Tremendous. They've been raving to me about this cast and all the great memes that they have. I'm reading this verbatim. I'm officially hooked now, and I love being able to listen to the podcast, to listen to the cast on iTunes a few days after it's aired. I also got a 10 out of 10 on Games. It also got a 10 out of 10 on GameSpot, which is a pretty trustworthy, incredible site. Shoutouts to GameSpot.
Dwayne, I'm Dwayne Ingleberry. I'm pumped that you're enjoying it, and once again, shout out to the Hodes for getting their friends and neighbors involved in listening. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. D. Ingleberry.
D. Ingleberry.
We have a second review. Now, from the title, it might be a giveaway of who did this review, but the title of this review is "This is Money." And the author is a Guy Front Door Fieri. And he writes, "Hey, Guy Fieri here. I'm sure you know me from my smash hit, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives."
Hold on, I don't think you read that right.
Oh, did I? Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what did I miss? Guy Fieri, I'm sure you know me from my smash hit, Dinners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Okay, there we go. My associate, Cleetoris Hodes, who did review the podcast one of these weeks,
Yes.
has turned me on to this pod, and now my eardrums are riding the bus to Flavortown.
What a line!
Once I saw the show was broadcasted live, I knew it was off the hook. Dude, I'd recommend anyone to have a gander at this delicacy for the ears. And check out my new show, Backwards Sunglass Bros. Premiering at 4:20 Eastern on A&E. Oh, well, thank you, Guy Front Door Fieri, for your review.
I like how he actually forgot the name of his own show.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's Guy. He's crazy, man. He's all
crazy.
over the place.
He's nuts.
He's all hopped up on barbecue sauce all the time.
Jesus.
Clitoris Hodes will never not make me laugh. Miss Clitoris.
So as you can see, we do occasionally get celebrities reviewing the podcast, so you're in good company.
Exactly.
Who knew Guy Fieri knew the Hodes as well? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Small world.
Yeah.
The Hodes are well connected. Very well connected.
Well, see, it's funny. Both reviews this week were influenced by Hode's family members.
Yeah.
It's not even that it's a small world, it's just a very large fammy.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I think you're correct.
It's like you're at most 3 degrees removed from a Hodes.
All right. That is it for episode 187 of the KBMOD podcast. Only 13 away from 200. Thank you for listening / watching. If you aren't following the Twitch channel, please hit that follow button. And consider subscribing as well. Get rid of the commercials during the cast for you. You can follow KBMOD at KBMOD Gaming on Twitter. You can follow APL at APL Fisher. Brandon at Volition, VOL1, TION. You can follow John at KBMOD John, and Blah at Black LITE Attack, Blacklit Attack. And you can follow me, Dan, at NipNops TV on Twitter. Or you could like KBMOD on Facebook, facebook.com/KBMOD. And you can find the podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcasting service. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be live next week at the same time. Later, dudes.
Later.
Good night.
Yatta!